JP here to give you a little tech talk on the Beaver Meadow series. Beaver Meadows are broken into two different categories, the carbon and the S-glass. The carbon, like it sounds, is actually carbon silica hybrid. It is carbon fiber with fiberglass scrim. So there is some fiberglass in the carbon, but the S-glass is completely 100% all glass. Now, let's go through this. Why in the world would we take such a successful line of rods like the Beaver Meadow series in carbon and introduce the S-glass? So we're just going to confuse people, right? Well, I don't want to do that. I want to explain why, and there is a reason. The Beaver Meadow Carbon, which is offered in our spring green and emerald green color, here it is here in spring green. It's a great rod. It's been around for a long time. It's gone through a number of iterations, and primary purpose of making the Beaver Meadow was to make a rod that was for small stream fishing, that would cast short distances and would roll cast really well and would bow and arrow cast really well. And it does. Because it's graphite and it has a higher modulus than S-glass, it has a lot of extra power that's in the fibers. That's good, because if you're a beginner and you want to start with a small stream rod, you could start with the Beaver Meadow Carbon. If you wanted to actually catch bigger fish, then probably you should catch with a rod like this. I say do it. Don't worry about it. I want to hear the story if something breaks, but try it. There's a lot of extra power in here to try to do that. You want to throw two flies at once? You want to throw a big cone head articulated streamer for that big fish that's in that pool? Do it. You might want to do it with the carbon. Okay? It's here. Let her rip. It starts at 5 foot long, goes up from there all the way up to 8 foot 4 weight, 8 foot 5 weight, and a lot of rods in between. You'll notice that the Beaver Meadow Carbon is rated as like a 2-3, and the reason for that is there's a lot of power in the fiber, which allows you to use either a 2 weight or a 3 weight. If you're fishing really small areas, you might want to use the high number. You might use the, for example, 6 foot 6 inch 2-3. You might want to use a 3 weight. That's what I recommend on that rod, because it's great for small casting, short casting. If you want to cast a lot farther, maybe 50 feet, which you can do with these, you can put a 2 weight on it. So those are there. They've been around for a long time. We've made thousands of them. We got a lot of happy people. So you got nothing to worry about with the Beaver Meadow Carbon. However, the Beaver Meadow S-glass, why did I come up with this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, there's a lot of people out there that have bought Beaver Meadows and have bought JP Ross rods, and I wanted to still appeal to our customers and give them something that I believe in inside, that it's something that will make people happy, and the S-glass is that. It's S-glass, which S stands for strength. This is not something I created. E-glass was made for the electronics industry. S-glass was made for aerospace. It was a structural composite. So I chose that one because of the tip recovery speed. So when this thing casts, the tip will come back to a point of rest a little bit faster than E-glass will. Some E-glass rods are a little lumpy. They're a little deadening when you cast them. I'm not a big fan of those. I've made rods that are like that, and I didn't like them. So we went with S-glass because of the tip recovery speed and a lot of the other strength properties. You can see I'm like really bending this. See how close together my hands are, and I'm still bending this? I really wouldn't do that with carbon, but I'll do it with the glass, and I definitely will do it with the S-glass. But again, design principle, why make the S-glass? Well, when you cast this, the tip recovery speed and the way that the rod is going to act, it's really not going to throw a tight loop. It's going to throw an open loop, and there's a reason for that. When that loop is really tight and it uncurls, it's going to slap the fly on the water. If you're really in some situations where you need the ultimate delicate presentation, I wanted to make a rod that would help you. This rod is the one. When you're casting it, doesn't take a lot of power to cast it. It's very smooth. You have heard me talk about how the Beaver Meadow is smooth. It really takes a little bit of time when you're casting it to realize how little effort it takes to cast it. So you've got open loop technology built into this thing. It's not for throwing loops through a screen door. It's okay that it's going to throw an open loop, because when you drop that fly on the water, you're going to see barely any kind of ripple at all. That's important. The other thing is, it's still strong. So if you do get a big fish on it, it's still got some power in there. So it's going to protect your tippets. So if you want to go with 7X, 8X, 10X, just because, or because the situation allows, you're going to want the S-Class. The other thing about casting the Beaver Meadow S-Class is that it's really fun to cast in regards to its feel. It will bend like right down close to the cork, even into the cork. It's not that the rod is super slow, it's not. That's why we went with S-Class, because it's a higher modulus and it's got a little bit faster tip recovery speed. It's a harder material to find, it's more expensive, but it's better. And casting these rods is really very, very enjoyable. And let's be honest, we fly fish because it's not really about the fish, is it? It's because we want to get outside and we want to have fun and we want to be happy. Taking the time to cast and enjoy the moment is important to me. It's important to the design principles that go into making these rods, and the S-Class does that. Now, for those of you that have JP Ross rods and you wanted the next evolution, so to speak, of a rod that I believe in and I think you're going to enjoy, it's going to be the Beaver Meadow S-Class. The S-Class series is a 6'6" 2-weight, 2-weight. Then there's a 6'6" 3-weight, 7.5 3-weight, 7.5 4-weight. I don't cross over on lines. In fact, if you buy the Beaver Meadow Customs from us, you'll actually get an Airflow tactical line with the rod, because I love that line. I recommend it, and I just want to give it to you because the line with the rod as a system is important. So that is me trying to do a little tech talk on the Beaver Meadow Carbon versus the S-Class, why we decided to do it, and why they're different. So I hope you enjoyed this short little film. Please don't forget, we love to talk to you on the phone. Call anytime, leave a message if we don't answer. Send me an email, ask questions, send pictures. Keep reminding us why we're doing what we're doing, because it really is a lot of inspiration. We love our customers. We love hearing about all these stories. Don't worry about the rods, everybody. They're just stuff. Use them. Get them dirty. Don't worry about it. We got plenty of components. We got plenty of blanks. Okay? So enjoy yourself. Remember, simply fish. Get outside. Be happy. Talk to you soon.
Met in on the end. Light and water plainly show a single scattered fantasy I've tried so hard to know.